All right, let's jump in. So welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangouts. For anybody that may in the future be jumping on, we have two goals here: to learn how to use LinkedIn, and number two, to have fun. Rule number one and only is don't be a jerk, because this is a fun, safe place to learn. Okay, so I've got a couple topics that I would love to bring up, and then a couple questions if we have time to get to them. But as always, live folks get the priority. So you guys, is there anything that you want to talk about other than, some of the stuff that we were bantering about earlier today? Anything else just top of mind? It doesn't even have to be a
Yeah, I have
question.
a
Just
small question. On my mobile phone, when I'm looking at the first contact, they get a designation, normally first. But since a month or two, I get a designation. They are reading U1, then hashtag first.
it sounds like a URL thing, like user what? Here, let me look at it on my phone right now. Are you talking about the normal app or the SalesNav app?
Um, in the
Here,
normal,
this is,
yeah,
is this what?
and yeah, that's not what's showing. Do I have an example? Uh,
Congratulations, Matt Sebastian, you're famous
yeah.
now.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is what you're talking about for you has gone away.
Yeah, the first is gone, and they're standing U1 and then hashtag first.
Weird. What kind of phone
Yeah,
are you on?
the Samsung.
Weird.
Are you on a US version of LinkedIn?
Um, yeah, it's on the English version.
But is it on the platform? Is it .com or?
Yeah.
Yeah, huh. Have you tried, here's a quick fix. Delete the app and reload it again.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes there's like I call it an idiot mode, where it gets
Mm-hmm.
stuck in something, and because they just updated it about 2 weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm.
try deleting it, and once you sign in again, it'll restore all your data.
Yeah. Yeah, I can try that.
When all
It's
else
not
fails.
not a big thing, but it's strange.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
strange.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds more like there's a bug where, because I've seen, excuse me, I've seen that kind of thing in the URL strand, like it sounds
Mm-hmm.
almost just like a bug than on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Judy, did you come across anything wonky or interesting this week?
The fact that my inbox is still like gonna take me down.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I track my metrics in terms of what's engaging on articles, and I just can't get a rhyme or reason there. I try to reverse engineer and say, okay, if I do it this way, and it's just, they're so inconsistent that I guess no, the point is you can't game the system. But what I would like to know is what type of content performs better than others, and I don't have an answer. So
I think that I think that is highly contextual also
mhm.
to the kind of your market, who you are. I think that's highly contextual.
Mhm.
And I hate to be like the super lame guy, but I think it really comes down to, like, is it worth people's time?
Mhm.
And then does it elicit a response for the engagement?
That's excellent. No, that you're spot on.
But then, like, beyond that, like, because we could be creating some similar content. So, like,
Mhm.
yeah, there are some things where I've put so much work into the material, and then you share it and you tag people, and it goes nowhere. And then you're just like, I feel like this is the right time of day. Great material, tagging awesome people, and it's like crickets. And then you can do something ridiculous, like, yeah, and it just takes off, and you're like,
Yeah.
I feel frustrated about that. And it's just me. I don't know. I don't have an answer, Judy, other than
Yeah.
What? Isaac? What?
Yeah.
Well, how about this? How about this? What do we think about the inboxes? Is there any reason or rhyme or reason on how to manage the Sales Navigator and the LinkedIn inbox without, like, because I'm missing stuff. I'm missing stuff.
I think you got to choose one and then move the conversation to where you want it to go and say, hey, sorry for the double thread for you. Can you use this one?
Yeah. I
You
mean, how
know,
do you manage all your inboxes? What do you do?
I usually do. I'm okay with the using two. It's not my favorite, but it doesn't drive me super crazy.
Okay.
But I usually just I'll have a tab open
Hmm.
with for each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about VAs last week also, Jer.
Hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Any good
maybe
ones?
yeah. Yeah, there you can get a good one. I think they're just hard to find. Whenever I do an interview, I always make someone, if they're going to be out of the country, I always require them to do a video interview,
Hmm.
because every single time that they weren't willing to do that, I've had to let them go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And why, tell me more. What's your thought there?
because it's I think that there's a couple things going on. If you're using a platform like a freelancing platform like Upwork or Freelancer, I think there's a lot of outsourcing that goes on.
Hmm. So
So
you're
they're
not
not
really on the
actually doing
person.
the same. Yeah. It tells me a lot about their computer setup. It
Hmm.
tells me a lot about their communication skills. And I don't expect someone in another country to speak like an American, or like, except for maybe Jer. But I'm talking more like that world where you're looking for a VA. But if they're not willing to do that, it just never works out. And then you can get a good example of how they are communicating in your language. And usually people are better at writing than speaking.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if they're good enough at speaking, I feel like their writing is usually even better. Yeah, that's just me though.
No, I think you're right. I actually interviewed a few people and had one issue with somebody where, they wanted to do Skype or something. And I was like, no, because I don't use Skype. It's got to be this or on the platform. And we couldn't get it. And then the person actually started stalking me and kept messaging me and saying, please,
Mm.
please, please give me a chance, please. And I'm like, no.
Hmm. Too
And
eager.
to the point where they said, I'll work for free. I was like, no, 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 no. Block, move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really about trust, and um, can you trust them to be concerned about your business, or is it just a job for them?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Today's in the US is National Boss Day.
Hmm.
So I gave everybody a little bonus because that's what bosses do, is they take care of their people. Do you guys
You
want to
do that
see?
every day.
That's right. That's right. Hey, where's Vera?
Oh, she's not on. She's
Okay.
tending to a customer right now.
Okay. Okay. She's doing the hard work and
Yeah.
you get to hang out. Okay, cool. Hey, let's quick look at this guy here. Have you guys seen this yet?
What is this?
This is
Elephant?
Yeah.
this is the Sales Navigator quarterly update page. So there's a few things here. We've actually talked about some of this in the past, like some of the alerts in Sales Nav. There's list sharing enhancements, but you have to have a team
Mm.
Yeah.
caption there. But you can go into your account and make a copy of a list. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, why would you want to? What would you do with a copy of a list?
It's like when you branch things off. So maybe you want to take that and then split it into two, but you want to back up, or maybe you want to slightly change it, but want to keep the original just in case.
Okay.
Yep. And like if you ever done anything with like web development, they'll do that and they'll use a language like branches. So you have like this, you make some changes, but you're like, just in case we make a mistake here, let's save the other branch.
Okay.
And so it's like branch. So you can make a copy, and then you can also share this. And I think that they're focusing on the list thing a lot. And I'm guessing that they're going to bring it into like not just organic prospecting, but paid as well. I think they're probably
It's
moving that way.
segmenting. It's a way to segment. But
Hmm.
have you dived into how you're using lists? Because I have some lists, but I'm not sure I'm using them to the best ability. Because I like the idea that I can put it in a bucket, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure what to do with that bucket.
Here, let me switch screens real quick. You guys see that? The search within custom lists.
Well, that's cool. No, I did not see that. I wonder,
Yes. So
that
this is where.
or is that a Isaac only feature?
Oh, this is where I was gonna check this morning. I didn't have time. I don't know if this is related to the level of account that you have in SalesNav, or if this is just kind of propagating through, So I don't have this, but someone else does. And so what I did is, so to answer your question, Judy, just ideas spitballing for lists. What I'll usually do is, you can see up here, this is in the account based, but if you go to, sorry, this is lead, but if you go to account based and you save a list of accounts, what I started doing is I'll search for, when I'm onboarding someone, I'll try to find all of their companies' LinkedIn pages. And then I will save those accounts. I'll add them to a list, and then I'll exclude the list. And then when a company does not have a company page, I'll use Boolean here in the company name to exclude them, to do our best. I think the only time someone falls through the cracks there is if they typed in the company name of an existing page, but it's grayed out, like maybe they just barely misspelled it or something. But that's pretty few and far between. So like I said earlier, that saved my rear, because once you add a lot of exclusions or not Booleans from the company name, the search bugs out. So so this seems to be a really great way to create a do not contact filter.
I like that. I don't have it. Now, you can have Navigator team of one, which gives you PointDrive.
I don't know, actually. You want to tell us more about that? Do you want to share your screen?
Sure. Let me see. I'm not on it, but hold on. Let me get to, where is my screen for that? Here it is. Okay. So yeah, there's a way, let me see here. In my account. Okay, here we go. Sales Navigator. I guess it's in settings, but you can upgrade your plan right here, and as part of a bulk purchase. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing just to see what it looks like.
Wow.
If you've already done it.
Okay, so manage account page. So let me see if I can, where the heck is it? Go to Sales Navigator. Because I did it once before. No, I'm not here. What? Did they change it again? Okay, I was on what they call Navigator Team because I wanted PointDrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $129 a month as opposed to $79 a month.
Oh, here. Since you've upgraded, it's probably why you can't. Go ahead, grab this.
How do I get out of this?
Here, I'll drive. We'll do this.
Yeah, go ahead and drive.
Can you do some sound effects for me?
Boom, 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 boom. Are you taking the screen?
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so so now it's 134. Oh, they raised it. It was 120.
They got to pay for all those new development features.
Interesting. Okay, so they raised it. So now I cannot. It's funny. I can't upgrade to that now. That's weird. So yeah, I mean, I looked at it, and for PointDrive, I thought, I can use, slide share and password protecting. I mean, PointDrive has some really good analytics as to who's visiting things. So if you put content out there, that's like putting a link to your, good tracking. But now, where does it say PointDrive there?
I was actually just going to do a search. I don't see it on there.
Wow. So
they might just leave it off. Do you want to geek out a little bit and tell us about PointDrive, because I'm not familiar with it?
Yeah, PointDrive it's like a it's a place where you can put content, and then you can track like who engages with it, who uses that. So say you message people and say, hey, I got this article on how to use the new filter search in LinkedIn. Are you interested in it? And they say yes. Then you send them the link. Then you can see who actually goes to that link. So it's a way to track it.
Cool.
And then you can see how many times they go there. You can see if they download it, whatever they do. So it's like SlideShare, but really more robust analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put different kinds of content. I think I will do a search and see if I can find. I know somebody did it here once. She had some information about it. Let me just do a thing here, PointDrive, and see if anything comes up. But yeah, now maybe they don't have it.
I've been on the other end of that where someone has sent me PointDrive material, and I've viewed it, and it looks pretty good. It's kind of like a PDF page on steroids. I don't know. It's neat. Do you think that there is an advantage, Judy or Jer, to using PointDrive's analytics for link sharing compared to just doing like a URL with the query string tracking for your analytics to get the
UTM.
same? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, a couple things. One is unless you do it as a bit.ly, which then becomes suspect, because I posted something the other day, somebody sent me something and it was clearly a link to a, malware. So I think it comes out real transparent if you use the PointDrive and people can see where that link's going. If you're using a UTM, people can see that you've got the UTM tracking in there. And then if you shorten it with a link shortener, then it's like, well, what is the real link, right? They're a little suspect to click on that. So I think, for LinkedIn, and again, metrics are fine as long as you're, actually doing something with it. You can collect a lot of data and not do anything with it.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
my main concern there was, if you send them something that they've asked for, you want to know if they actually go to it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to put, if I can find this, yeah, PointDrive, I wonder what happened to it. Content, I know Bryn has written a lot about PointDrive. And of course I can't find it now. Maybe they took it away. I mean, who knows? It's one of those taketh and giveth things. Where they, I don't know. LinkedIn PointDrive. I'm doing a search here, PointDrive. Yeah, I mean, I thought it sounded like a Microsoft product to me. Here, introducing PointDrive, LinkedIn Sales Solution. So this was in 2017. And here's what they say about it. I mean, I just like the analytics. I'll put it in the chat so you can grab that. But here's what they said in 2017. Now, that may be gone. Let's see. Yeah. So if you put up that link, you can kind of see what the analytics look like, kind of in the middle of the page there.
Sure. Yep.
And you can view the activity. You can see who looked at it, how deep they went into the content, like how many pages, which was pretty nice. So say you have a sales piece up there, and it's good for like sales enablement content. So here it is. If you have like the marketing team and the sales team and you're creating some content, you don't want the sales team going rogue, creating their own content, then you can create a PointDrive for your team, and then they can direct traffic there, and each salesperson can have their own extension or their own channel within the PointDrive. So it's really great for sales teams and sales enablement material.
Yeah. So you can control access to your material like on a team. Well, that's would be very appealing, like on a big company that has a lot of salespeople come and go, and to be able to quickly give it to them for the platform, that could be pretty cool.
It's their digital asset. So if you pull up that link, if you do a screen share on that link I just sent you, and then go to the middle of the page, you'll see, go to but be sure, go right there. You see that? So that's what's interesting. So that could be like, Marion is on a team of people and she's got her channels there within the PointDrive. So you can see where there's presentations. So each team member, and ideally it's navigator team. And so, if it's enterprise or whatever, there's multiple seats. And then here's the materials. And then you can see how many total views, how long they spent on it, how many pages were viewed, how many downloaded it. So then it helps you determine the, how good the content is as well. So you can relate that back to your marketing team.
Yeah.
So, so I thought it was useful, but maybe it went away because I'm not seeing where it is now.
It'd be really cool to be able, if you had a really good piece, highly desirable to the right audience, and you sent that out in messaging, I'm just geeking out. It'd be really cool to do like an A/B test where you sent it out in messaging to a group of people, and how many people did you send it out to versus the views and engagements?
Exactly.
And then versus doing like something in the newsfeed and just kind of comparing all that stuff. I would geek out about that. That's
all right. So here's what happened. After May, they didn't post anything. So this is telling me then LinkedIn, PointDrive, yeah. So as of May, so it's one of, okay, cut this out of the video, but this is an example of an organization that works in silos and the left hand's not talking to the right hand. They had something great here and now it's gone. And it's like,
or maybe they're retooling it for something else.
In May, they just published new templates this year. And after May, I can't find anything.
I don't know.
New templates of what?
For PointDrive.
Oh, you know all about PointDrive too. I'm just the only one here that.
No, I just read it.
Okay.
Thanks to Judy. And I had a customer that used it, but he never came back to me that he gained any advantage from PointDrive in contacting his customers. So they switched already to pointing them to their own drives and their own materials.
Like Google, like everything in a Google Drive kind of thing.
Yeah, they're more geared toward Teams, and maybe PointDrive is now part of Teams, Microsoft Teams. I don't know.
It may be, and it goes back to the notion of LinkedIn. Bottom line is a rented platform, and if you have really great content, it should really be on your website, and you should set it up so that you do have the UTMs and all that, and you know how deep they're going, and you can use Search Console for that. That gets a little technical, but that's really the best practice. I think this is great, what LinkedIn's or was offering for people that don't have the access to, if it's a big organization, they might not be able to set up that on their website. So I thought that was interesting, but what's also interesting is now I can't even upgrade to sales teams anymore. So I guess a team of one doesn't count.
No, not anymore. Yeah. Now, last time I checked, when we ask about teams, you have to set up for 10 persons.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I have a couple clients that have big teams and they don't want to do it. Because there's something about there's data sharing or connection sharing amongst the team. So if you have and these are competitive salespeople, if they each have their whatever they call their book, right? Then all of a sudden, if you're on this Teams thing, it shows who you're all connected to or who's, and it's like, no, I don't want to share that. That's how I make my money. So I don't know. I don't know who is effectively using. Do you have people, Isaac, that are using Navigator Teams effectively?
Usually I'm working with the business owner who does sales. That's been my sweet spot. So yeah, no, nothing on Teams. I think it's really, okay. One thing that I come across too, like I've worked with many times people in sales, and what I've discovered too, both in like, lots of industries. What the point of friction is the company does not want to invest the money in an employee who could come and go and take their network with them. And that's the kind of trade-off where it's like, well, if they're making you money, that's a real benefit, but they could take that network with them. And it's like, once that person has connected with people at the companies that you sell to and then they leave, you have to like repeat the work to get in the door. So there's a big hesitation there, and with the teams and companies paying for 10 seats, for people to come and go. And if you're connected with someone, they stay in your network. You might lose all of the inbox stuff if you lose your paid account, but
they stay in your network. Yeah. And that gets down to a sticky issue. Yeah. I mean, it really makes you think companies should really be working harder on retaining employees rather than.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
If they retained them and took care of them, they wouldn't be leaving, going somewhere else. So yeah.
I have an old friend here in town who he's a CFO for like a seed company, and he was asking me some questions about LinkedIn, and I was like, just have your employees share the stuff about that you're hiring on LinkedIn and like get away with spreading the news that you're hiring for this position without having to create a job post. And he goes, the company doesn't like us using LinkedIn. I'm like, why not? He goes, they're scared that they'll be recruited. I'm like, well, just take better care of your employees. And he goes, that's what I said to the owners.
Fear-based, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, if you're scared that they are going away, then there's something wrong at your company.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or you're not
yeah,
paying enough,
exactly.
or there's something wrong with the morale.
Yep,
Exactly.
for sure, for sure. But the pressure is real.
Yeah,
The pressure
the
is
fear.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then the pressure, I think the pressure of employers is real because they really have to keep their costs down and they don't want to lose people, and you can't be everybody's best friend. The pressure is real. I think on both sides. It's not healthy, but the pressure is real.
yeah. But if they invest through LinkedIn in those people, you make those jobs for them easier, so they want to stay because you're investing in them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true, Jer. I'll come work for you, Jer.
Gladly.
Oh, here. I just wanted to really quick share the. I'm gonna go to that the search count increasing really quick because I saw that today and I I did like the crazy laugh. Hang on, where's that at? Da, da, da. All right. So for those of you who weren't here in the beginning and then didn't see this post, this is Q3. Search limit increase, lead and account from 1,000 to 2,500. Awesome. 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 And this is in sales nav, not normal, not free or premium. So so let's talk about maybe the pain points here, right? So pain points are if you've got a thousand search results is a lot, but sometimes I've come to the end of the list. You know, this would if somebody is using like a scraper to scrape their list, this is going to make them really, really happy
Yeah.
because then they don't have to like cut it into pieces to try and get around 1,000. But there's been times that I've run into that no scraping involved where you're at the end and you're just like, dang it, like it's inconvenient. Like just the other day, I was looking for an industry and I'm saving them. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not scraping them. I'm saving them. And then there's more than 1,000. I'm like, now I have to break it down by company headcount. Then I have to break it down by followers, and it's just really inconvenient. And so to be able to do that is super helpful.
You know what? I love it, Isaac. If you would to show on maybe a future hangout how you actually do those searches. Like, how do you
Yeah.
get sophisticated in those searches, whether it be Boolean or whatever it is? Because I love really going beyond the obvious, where
Yeah.
you're picking whatever. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, we could geek out a little bit and do some like a case study where we go starting at the account based level and then create a list and then move into the thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be fun.
you could put up
Yeah,
a
what are the different ways to create
hypothetic.
lists? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hypothetic. I'm looking for people in the construction industry that blah blah blah, whatever the criteria is.
Yeah.
And here's how you find it. Because I'm sure there's people looking at the Hangout then would love to see how that really works in a
Yeah.
Boolean way and in a functionality way using these tools.
Yeah. The search exclusion where you can hover over the option and then select the like circle with the dash.
Mhm.
I'm really liking that as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, especially for excluding industries. That's been very helpful for me. And then excluding that list, the list exclusion. I just yeah, super happy about that. Okay, cool. Let me see one thing here. Oh, you know what? I want to show you guys really quick something on analytics because I'm going to zoom in on this. So I'm not sure if when I share my screen, if it's zoomed in. So if it's too small, let me know. Is it zoomed in here? Does this look
Well,
big?
this is nice. Okay, so this is on your analytics. Okay, good.
Is it look pretty big? Is this about a third of the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is organic search traffic for the last year, users by time of day. This is probably, this is between like 40, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 people. And these queries are all related, like really top of funnel LinkedIn stuff. And so I was thinking, it'd be cool. I don't know if this jives or not, so I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I'm thinking this might be great insight into good times of day to share stuff because it tells me somebody is running into like a question about LinkedIn, they're probably on LinkedIn. So maybe these are great times for engagement on the platform too. You guys have any thoughts on that? So it looks like so days of the week are down here.
And this is
times of
coming
day.
to your site. This is traffic to your website?
Yeah, this is people doing search in Google for like stuff about LinkedIn.
Wait, how are you seeing that? How do you?
So this is my Google Analytics for my website.
No, I know that, but I mean, how do you know that they're searching for LinkedIn? Because that's for your site.
Oh, that's all I've got on my site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is interesting. The question though is posting something on LinkedIn. How long does it take to cycle through that feed? Because I have stuff that I posted 2 days ago that's just starting to round up some comments, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
So I wonder, it's like, this is great to know because that's when the intent is highest, right?
Right. Yeah. And I don't have any firm takeaways here. I just like to hear your thoughts on. So like Monday, and this is in U.S. Central Time. So like Monday 9 picks up, slows down at 10, pretty heavy all the way through the workday, and then kind of trickles off. Tuesday similar.
Tuesday, good day. Yeah.
Yeah. Tuesday's even a little bit better than Monday actually.
And
Yeah.
Isaac, are these people that are coming from LinkedIn to your website?
No, they're doing a search in Google, like what does this mean on LinkedIn, or how do I do this on LinkedIn?
Okay.
On Google.
This is not you saying that people are actually on LinkedIn. They are searching for something about LinkedIn.
Right.
They're coming to your site is what it is.
So this is making an assumption that they've encountered a problem or a question while on the platform, and they're trying to fix it right in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if these are new visitors or repeat visitors, or it's all visitors?
It's from what I remember, I'd say 90% new.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it is interesting.
Like, have you guys shared? Do you guys get any traction like on the weekends?
See, I get a lot of engagement on the weekends because I find that late at night and on the weekends, for some reason, that's when people have time to actually look at their account. Because they're doing their business all day, and then they're on Sunday. I get a lot of engagement from people.
Maybe we gotta like almost invert this, where we say this is where there's the most competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe this is better to do stuff in here. Not 2 a.m. when people are sleeping, but maybe these are good times because there's less. Maybe it's just less competitive. That might be something to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point too. It is interesting. I just, it's kind of like I used to work for a landscape organization, and they said, well, what's the best place to plant a tree? And it's like the place where it'll grow.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is, when's the best time to post? It's like when people engage, and it just really depends because some industries are different. If you're dealing with,
very true.
Nonprofit industries are probably going to be 9 to 5. If you're dealing with, entrepreneurs, it's probably going to be after hours, weekends. So, it just depends on the industry, I think. And yeah, but this is good to know. I mean, I like that you're looking at this,
Yeah, just geeking out a little bit.
No, that's Zeeking geeking. Geeking, whatever.
Don't ever say that again.
No. Sorry, I just had a big birthday last night, and I'm just like re-entering the.
No, you're great. It's great. Just being goofy. Oh, all right. Let's talk briefly. I got a question from a guy named Michael about fake profiles. Okay.
Favorite.
So it's just, well, I think it's worth, I know, I'm sure we're all on the same page here, but just for people to like, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, there's fake profiles. And then once they realize that, they're like, maybe I can leverage that. And sometimes like it can get things done, and I'm not a fan of it, but okay. So just to get it out there, fake profiles do exist. Yeah. There are a lot of fake profiles. Some profiles, they were created like as a duplicate on accident, whatever. Sometimes though, there are profiles created by people as like a workforce to do things.
Right.
And those fake accounts are used a number of ways. I've seen it I've seen fake profiles used for content engagement, like shares, likes, and comments on posts. I've seen fake profiles used on endorsing skills. I've seen fake profiles used to make a company look bigger than they are. I've seen fake profiles used uh, like they're same kind of thing where it makes a company look bigger, but not just because the head count is bigger, but because it'll like, hey, we just hired this person and this person just got a promotion, but it's all like smoke screen. It's all fake. It's just to make the company like look like things are really going. I've seen fake profiles used all those ways. Have you guys seen them used any other way that I'm missing?
Yeah, I've seen one fun fake profile. Actually, there was a guy, he created 5 CGI models,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave each model an own profile on LinkedIn with a backstory, how they were created, by whom they were hired to display clothing on the websites. So it was a fake profile for a fake person, but he was really clear about it. And that was the only fun fake profile I've ever seen.
Fascinating. So that he would just straight up said this is like a fake profile.
Yeah, and you could hire the CGI model.
Whoa. Interesting. That is so fascinating. There is a fake Instagram. I don't want to bunny trail off on this, but same kind of thing. There's a fake Instagram account called Lil something. I forget what it is, and it's a like an AI. Everything's computer generated, and they have a ton of followers. And the thing there is, like in the U.S., a corporation is treated with the same kind of rights as a person, and so like a company has created a profile with an AI that's active, and the person does not age. The person can, like can do whatever the company wants, and the company owns it. And there's no getting old. There's no dying. It's just a long-term company asset, which is interesting. So it's same kind of thing that you just described on LinkedIn, where it probably violates LinkedIn's user agreement, but it's a thing. It's interesting. What do you guys think about? What do you guys' thoughts are here? If you were in a room and nobody was listening, what would you say about about fake profiles?
That, sometimes they sting you. I think I'm more concerned about the malicious ones that are looking to connect to, do bad things like scrape, identity theft. Those are the ones that bother me.
Sure.
Because some of them look really genuine, but then when you really look at the profile, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. Yeah, I think there's, out of the 600 million profiles or accounts that are on there, I'd say about half of them are mistakes or just not real accounts, or dormant, like people, they don't even know their password. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's interesting then when you kind of cull that down to the people that are actually active, or properly set up profiles. Yeah. I mean, I have a client right now that he has 3 different profiles up there and 2 different company page things that are not correct. And we can't get it corralled because he doesn't know what emails he used to set the
Very
other ones
common.
up. So they're like there. So, I think it's a good idea for branding, to search and see how many profiles, search your name, make sure you hadn't set one up in the past where you did it. You might have done it. Who knows? We're all guilty of those things. Like, I didn't realize I did that. But I don't know. I mean, I just say before connecting with somebody, if somebody invites you or if you come across a profile that looks too good to be true, do a reverse image search. I do that, and or TinEye.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I found a couple that are stock photos. And yeah, I wrote a whole thing on, I actually need to publish it. I wrote it, but didn't publish it. And then the other thing is look at what they say in their descriptions, and how that's worded. I just posted the other day, I got an in-mail from somebody, 3rd level connection. He has 83 connections and he wanted me to click on a link, and it was a 1-point link. And I knew it was malware. And so I posted it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you look at my feed, go back a couple of days, I posted it. You'll see, and it really concerned me because I think, again, unsuspecting people. This is a safe platform for us, right? This is a safe platform. When people start doing stuff like that, it's like, it's
That's
like they're
interesting.
infecting it. They're infecting the platform now, and now it means we have to. number one, prevents us from, practicing something like that, because now people are not going to, click on the links. And number two, it ruins it for the greater mass, So I think, I just wish there was better verification of members, like they actually had to show like a government ID or something to verify who they are.
Sure.
So you know that they're a real person, and get rid of the fake profile like that. Do you see the post? You see that? I blocked out the guy's name because I didn't want to.
No, do you want to throw it in the chat, or do you want to share?
Yeah. Hold on, let me.
So while you're doing that, I've not encountered that actually, where there's like the fake profiles being used to spread malware and viruses. I've not encountered that. That's interesting.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on, where the heck is it now? Now I gotta find.
So while you're finding that, and then just interrupt me when you're.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay, go for it.
So let me put that one up. Okay, so this is what I put here. If you can see my screen. Whoops. Hello. This is what it was. So can you see it down here?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy sent me this. Here's a confidential project which we just finished drafting. We see you are competence from your LinkedIn profile. Right? Please follow the link to read more and get back to us. So it's https://onedrive.com.live.com, and that's got all this other nonsense in there. Okay. Let me know if you have any concerns. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's what I said is, number one, look at the wording. Okay. We see you are competence. Dead clue. Number two, look at the sender. This person has 84 connections. Now I've got a 7,000 some odd, right, followers. So I've got a pretty decent network. He's not even on my radar. Third level and 84 connections. Okay, so that's a clue. Third one is, look at the profile photo. When I reverse searched him, it identified the photo as stock photo gentleman. So what I said is, again, and if you say no thanks, you're perpetuating this practice, because it gives them more credits to do more of these in-mail. And this is an in-mail, by the way.
Yeah.
So what I said is, click on the 3 dots and report the message, and then go to the sender's profile and block them.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't need to report them, because you don't know. I mean, he could be an idiot, just trying to send some stuff out that doesn't know. He could be harmless and maybe not. Yeah. But the point is, don't click that link and don't respond no thanks. Report the message and block the person.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that means now that we have, we live in a world where you're going to find nefarious characters doing this kind of stuff on LinkedIn. And, majority of people would be like, oh, wow, this looks cool. A confidential project. Whoa, no, it's not cool. So, yeah.
And what that kind of thing is going to make it harder for good players to get through to their audience as well.
Exactly. Well, that's why I'm a big believer in asking permission. And so even when someone wants to set up a call with me, it's like, do you want a link to my calendar? Do you want, I ask them before I send them a link. I ask them, do they want this? Because otherwise, if I'm just blasting this stuff out, as convenient as that might sound, I want to send everyone a link to this article. No, unless we're in a private conversation and that's the expectation, this is like really crummy. So yeah,
interesting.
It's just something to be aware of, and that's where I say, this profile is probably a fake profile. I don't even know what MILT and MCMI means. He has some kind of credentials here, and he's from some institute. Logistician, experience leading cost-efficient logistics store. I don't know. And it's a different country. I mean, nothing wrong with different countries. It's just that, again, it just seemed United Kingdom is kind of a generic, it's like saying United States, right? That could be anywhere in the UK. Where is this person? So just be aware. Just be aware of who you're engaging with. And if you see some stuff like this, let people know. Report it.
So what about on the non-malicious side, where people are using fake accounts, like to inflate engagement, to try and boost their content in the news feed, or for company activity, endorsements and stuff? What are your thoughts there?
I don't think people should be gaming the system, because I think when you game the system, it's not real then. It's like I had a client that had 10,000 some odd Facebook followers or fans, whatever you call them. And when I did some analysis before the Cambridge deal, so I could actually look at who the followers were, they were gentlemen from the Philippines, which was not the target audience of this client. So I said, yeah, you may have all this engagement, not engagement, but you may have all these followers, but they're not your audience, and it doesn't help you. You know, in fact, it diminishes. So I think setting up a fake account to like comment on your stuff, or you know, if you're experimenting. I do know one gentleman that has set up another account because he has a whole different line of business that he doesn't want to tie into his primary business. All right. You know, different conversations, different connections, different database, you know, against terms of service, but that's his thing.
Yeah.
No, and again, I'm not criticizing anyone for that. It's, I don't know, you just, I'd say keep it real, right? Come on, Isaac, right, Jerk? Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I totally agree.
Stop trying to game it. You know, if you're gaming it, you're obviously, you know, you're one of those snake oil people. Selling snake oil. You know, just, you know.
I think that as hard as it is to admit it, though, I think that I agree. I think that it should not be a thing. But I think it's important to acknowledge that it can, like if you have, you know, 20 fake, if you're in the US and you have 20 fake well-done profiles, and they, however you would do it, if you could get them to engage with your material right away, I think that it could move the needle as far as the exposure of that post. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's why it is still a thing. And I don't like that that's a thing, but I think that it right now, I think that could work. And that's why it's so tempting for people.
Yeah.
Just something to think about there.
If it's all about engagement, okay, why not set up a message pod?
Right. Yeah. I think pods can be a much more effective way to do that.
You know,
For
I mean,
sure.
what I do with some clients is, you know, where they have a team, right? But, you know, they're not on the enterprise edition. If we do a post, I have a message pod set up within LinkedIn that says engagement pod with the partners or whomever is in the team. And I'll just say, hey, we just posted this video, you know, feel free to engage. And
Which is like the free way to do LinkedIn Elevate.
Yeah, exactly. You know, feel free to engage, you know, or I'll put it out to the company page and say, hey, this is, you know, so it's like a heads up. Have a couple clients that use Slack for that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's a good way to do it too.
It's just a heads up. And then they have the link and they can quickly engage. And then at least you're leveraging, you know, a qualified network. Because the thing with the fake profiles is it takes a lot of work to build those networks.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't even imagine if I do know somebody well-respected LinkedIn expert that does have a secondary profile that is used to test some theories. You know,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I have enough trouble maintaining one life.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
So that's, you know.
I could see somebody saying like, it's a lot of work, potential value. Let's hire someone in the Philippines for $3 an hour.
Yeah.
To have all these browsers and do fake engagement and stuff, and to do like endorsements and to do recommendations and to do make your companies look bigger. I think that that's not going to go away, and it pains me, but I think that it's something we need to deal with. And I want to hold the line on being authentic about stuff.
Yeah, hold the line on that, because I think that's what it comes down to. But I did see something the other day where you could buy followers, you could buy likes or whatever, skill endorsements. You could, and I was thinking, wow, you know, and then I heard somebody say, well, if I see a post and there's a lot of comments, I don't bother commenting because there's already too many comments. It's like, interesting. So how do you feel when you see something out there and it has a lot of engagement? Does that make you feel like, wow, this person is really, you know, on their game or important, or, you know, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I think at first I feel jealous.
You know what important number to look at, by the way? It's not so much the views, because again, if you look at the views, it's not excluding your IP address. So each time you're opening your feed, you're getting another view. But the thing that I look at is what I call the engagement action to views ratio. So I'll look at the views and like how many likes and comments out of those amount of views. Okay, so if I'm getting 10 or 15 or 20 or 30% out of that, that's better than saying, oh, I got 50,000 views on this, but I got, 2 likes or whatever. I don't know. So I would look at, which engagements really show. It gets back down to a qualified engaged audience as opposed to a random, crowd of people that, are just, oh, like, whatever. I don't know.
I had a, oh, go ahead, Jared, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say I rather chase 5 people that are relevant than 10,000 that I don't know and have to vet if they are relevant, because I don't have the time. So I think it's more important to go out after those 5 and go for those 5 and set everything up to get those 5 in. And the engagement that is coming from, sorry, my phone. The engagement that is coming and the messaging that's beneath the your posts, what they're actually saying is also more important, because if they're only saying great or thumbs up, it doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah.
If they're replying with something that's bringing value also, then you have a great post.
Yeah. Like they took the time to consume the material and
took the time to really respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I alike in insight and the heart and would celebrate. Those are so easy to do. I feel like it matters to me, but not a whole lot. Yeah. I had a meeting last week with a gentleman here in town. I'll keep his name anonymous, so if you're watching this, hey. LinkedIn made him the person to follow for insurance. And so he's a really bright guy, really cool product. And he went really quickly to having 150,000 followers, all niche, because of where LinkedIn had said, follow this if you want to know someone in this industry. So his question was like, man, I've got 150,000 people all following me now. How do I monetize that? And can I sort through it? And so one good question that he asked was, is there any way to take your followers and learn a little bit more about them? Can you do any kind of search filter with your followers? And so the answer is no. There's no option to search followers and then break it down to do some market analysis on them. But what you could do, and when you have 150,000, this is unappealing, but you could view your followers, tag them as a follower, and then use SalesNav to search within that tag to get an idea of who's following you. That's one way to do it. But yeah, for him, big question is, do you share content and hope that the 150,000 followers turn into clients, or do you pursue that list who are already following you and then have a conversation there? And then also, I'll stop in a minute here. You run into the issue where in that situation, there's venture capital involved and maybe a sale, who knows? And if you've got 150,000 people following the owner of a company, the owner's not does he ever want to retire? No. Because if that's your main revenue stream and it's the owner, that can become a big problem when you want to offload sales to your team, Anyways, that was more of a story than a talking point, I guess. Sorry.
Good. Stories are good.
So I guess takeaways, if you want to do market research on your followers, you can just view them one at a time and then tag them. And just to see who's following you. Because there's no real way to there's no real easy way to see who's following you, other than your first degree connections automatically follow you.
You can see who's following you. Did you know that?
Yeah, but there's not a way to do where do they live, an easy way to see where do they live, what industry are they in, what search.
To segment them.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, so you could take and just tag everybody one at a time. So it's a pain in the rear because it's a lot of work, but you could do it.
Well, you know what I did? I've unfollowed a lot of people because by virtue you're connected and you follow, because my feed is still not the way I want my feed to be, but I want to just see the people that I want to see
Yeah.
in my feed.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to do that through lists in Navigator, like to get the home page really tweaked so you're just seeing, but I haven't figured that out.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to save them and then,
It's a lot of
yeah.
work. That's a lot
Yeah.
of work. And then,
Yeah.
then if you're saving them, like before you connect and you save them as a lead or after, I don't know. It's just a lot of work. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a return on that.
Yeah. 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 I agree. There's a point where there's diminishing returns for sure. One last thing, because we're like an hour in and I want to get back to work. Uh, we've said a couple times, like LinkedIn is a rented platform. So I just have this nagging feeling. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm trying to work out a real quality way to do, like, to bring the network off of LinkedIn and also in a tasteful way, So like you might connect with someone, do messaging, whatever. There's a point where you realize this person who you want to know, they probably want to know you. They're just not on LinkedIn very often. Maybe they have their notifications turned off. Maybe they never check their messages, but they opted in and said yes. So I just feel this bubbling pressure where it's like, Isaac, you need to at least give this person the opportunity to talk to you also by like email in a way that's not spammy at all. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, usually what I'll do is I'll either add someone to CRM right when we connect or when they convert to sales funnel. But I'm almost wondering if there's a third option where you wait after, like, maybe they connect, and then if they have not engaged with you at all for like 2 weeks, then you add them to your sales funnel. Then you add them to your CRM. And when you do that, there's like a queue that fills up where it's like, hey, you're connected with this person. Here's their first name, the last name, the email. They haven't engaged. The tasks in queue is to send this person like a very tasteful, well-written email, starting a conversation similar to what you do in messaging. They just haven't replied. But there's like an art to that, and I feel like there's so many people that you could also bring into your world, like, really. You guys have any thought on that or advice?
I do. Well, here's the thing. Again, I'm having an overload issue, and I'm not even important. Like the clients that I'm working with are much more important than I am, right? The inbox in my regular email is just out of control. So here's the thing: if it's personalized and somebody sends me a message that shows that they actually want to engage with me, and that it's not part of a template of sorts, then I'm more likely to respond. Give me a reason, hey, there's an event happening, and I noticed that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Are you interested in going? Oh, okay, sure. I think the other thing that I found really helpful is using Navigator. I think it's the Chrome plugin that you can actually get the Twitter handle. And some people are more engaged on Twitter. They may be on LinkedIn, but they're more engaged on Twitter. So I've started conversations with people on Twitter that have been my LinkedIn connections and vice versa. And that's been really nice. So we're, thinking about, okay, what's your platform of choice? Are you a person, and gosh, don't send me a Facebook Messenger message. I get those that come in and it's like, I feel like it's an invasion, So just getting these random emails sometimes is, and it really depends on, is your email going to spam? Is it going to, if you're using the G Suite platform, or is it showing up in primary? Because I got a bunch that are just what I call promotional. I'll never even see it. So I think you have to take it one by one and maybe work in batches, Isaac, with those people that you have. And it's great that you put them in a CRM, because then you can look at it in another way and say, okay, here's 10 people or 20 people. What is it about these people that, you can help, or that you see an opportunity there and maybe personalize it. It takes more effort, but I think it's more genuine.
Yeah, well, I agree 100%. I think my thoughts is like, I'm feeling this, it's worth it to initiate investing in the relationship off of LinkedIn if someone has connected, if they're not active on the platform.
Yeah.
You have to do it right.
Yep.
And I feel like that makes your efforts go a lot farther, because there are a lot, like client wise, if you have built a network of like 10,000 really relevant people, aced messaging to the best of your ability, done a good job, there's still going to be a large amount of people in there. They never reply. And it's not because you did a bad job. It's just how they use LinkedIn.
Yeah, right. You're right.
And so
They don't even
if
know.
you,
Yeah.
so if you can, in a rolling basis, as you're going, figure out like when's a good time when they haven't engaged with you to do the Twitter, to do the email in a tasteful relationship way. I feel like I actually could bring more value with minimal extra work, because it's just that extra way to send a message, but it has to be well done. I
Yeah.
don't think that it's like you add them to your CRM and then it auto goes out. It has to be, here's a task in queue, here's a name and email. What do you want to send them from your email?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
there's not an unsubscribe at the bottom. It's you're sending it personally, and if you do it on a daily basis, and I feel like that could make our efforts go doing LinkedIn a lot farther.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right. By the way, what CRM are you using?
So my favorite's PointDrive. I am doing a little test with Auto HQ. They had a sale on AppSumo, and so it was like, yeah, I think the sale's out. It was like lifetime for $50. So I'm testing out that right now. So far, my favorite though has been PipeDrive.
Over HubSpot?
Yeah, I do like it more than HubSpot.
Because I think
Which is
that's something probably for people that are really active on LinkedIn, is having a CRM, I think, helps keep things on the radar.
Yeah.
In terms of, the buckets of connections that you have, because as people are growing a database, I think when you get, past 1,000 connections, it's like, okay, how do we disseminate? How do you keep in touch with people? What's the cadence? Is it quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily? And what's the preferred method? Is it, through a tweet? Is it through an email? Is it through, phone call? I have some people that just pick up the phone, call me.
And then people change jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you might have tagged someone or started your relationship with them here, and then 6 months later, you're like, oh, you're like in a totally different job now.
Yeah.
So what I find helpful is if you can stay organized in Sales Nav with tags. If you're going to do a top of mind thing, if you create that list using Sales Nav, then you're actually current with their job title as well. So like, I don't like to tag someone by like the campaign or the initiative that we've done, because it might change, And so if you
pay for Sales Nav annually, or are you paying for it monthly?
Yeah, I do monthly.
Me too.
Probably just because forever ago I was like, I don't want to bite the bullet, but now I'm just like, a tax write-off is a tax write-off.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk. I mean, you're talking $1,000 going out. But you're right. Yeah, I look at it every month now thinking, should I convert?
Yeah.
Because as soon they're going to hit with a price increase, I'm sure.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Gotta look.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what, business owners watching this, look at your numbers. Where are you in your numbers, your profit versus your income? And if you need some deductions, maybe it's time to convert to an annual.
Yeah.
Just say, bite the bullet. I'm going to commit to it for a year, and I'm really going to use it. Tags and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man. All right.
Awesome stuff. Hey, got a topic for next week. Okay, put this out there.
Yep. I will.
Look in your here's the link, and it'd be interesting to, where's chat? It'd be interesting to talk about how to chat. Oh, there it is. Here's the link. Pull this up. Be interesting to talk about how to use the different filters on this view. And look at how you're engaging, because this particular link I just sent you shows people that have posts. So you can look at them and say, oh, wow, this person is really active, 36 posts this week, 28 posts this week. Change the filter view and filter it by, if you look in the 3 lines there, it looks like a hamburger with lots of ketchup. You can filter it by your connections, by out of network, by companies, and by hashtags. And then you can see that? Yeah, so filter that. And now look at this. So you can now look at your connections. Okay, actually click on connections. There you go. Click on that. And now what's interesting is you can see, wow, you can see how engaged they 47 posts. Man, I got a comment, you know,
was
whatever.
that always there? The count?
I don't know. That is
feel like
thing. I just found it, playing around with it. Now click on followers. Click on the top on followers there, up at the top nav. Yeah, click on followers. And now you can see their network. And so you can say, okay, if you're following somebody with a really small network, maybe you don't want to waste a follow on them. Maybe you just want to follow the people, you know, that you're engaging with that have larger networks. Because that's another thing, is if you're engaging with content in small networks, you have a very small megaphone. Okay. So nothing against that, because everybody has to start somewhere, but you know, if I have an opportunity, I've got somebody here, wow, I didn't realize this gentleman has 4.4 thousand followers. That tells me the size of his network is usually on par with that. So it's a cool tool to really look at. How do we take this cool view and engage with people, you know, that either have the larger networks that we're interested in, or I wish you could tag people, you know.
I wish. So the filter here goes away on followers.
Sure does, but you have a different,
which is a bummer.
Yeah, so you can see, when you look at following, you can see their posts, like how active they are. And
wait.
Zip,
look at there. I zoomed in on Jared. Oh no, go back.
Oh,
oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. I was gonna do where'd you go?
So you can zoom in on people.
There you go.
Yeah. But if you go back, so now you see, okay, I've got 7,000 followers, right? So wow. But you know, again, so that's the thing that you can see the size of the network in this view, and then you can determine who to follow and follow. And then if you look at the other one, which is the following, you can see the level of activity. Wouldn't it be great if we could tag from this or save them to a list? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that's where, when I was talking about earlier, the gentleman who had 150,000 followers, is, I think your only bet is to go open, view in sales nav.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But you know, that I did that as a demo earlier, so.
Yeah.
And then tag them as following.
Yeah. Did I not reply?
You're definitely a reply. Yeah, so, yeah.
Anyway, just something to play around with it and see what you think, if it's worthy of a discussion next time.
I think it is. I think it is worth it. Do you know, I'm looking at this. This is not sorted.
No, and there's
by time. So even if you did go through and tag someone, you wouldn't know.
There's no way to really, and you know what it is though? Here's what I'm seeing. Actually, if you look in the following view, go to the following view, it's sorting by the most active. So if you scroll down, you can see people who are not active at all.
Oh, interesting. So actually, if people get familiar with this page, this gives you even more exposure, actually.
Yeah. So, and then you can, filter it out as to how, if you want to look at, just companies that you're following, or connections, or even your out of network.
105 posts this week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only caveat that I have on this. That I have also a client that's very active, but he is pushing out so much postings that he's really annoying people. And I think 105 posts in a week, then you have really a lot to tell.
Here's an interesting fellow. He's and this doesn't make sense to me. He's a crew leader at Trader Joe's. He had 752 posts this week. He's got a following of 12,000, but his posts aren't really about Trader Joe's. They're they're just posts about stuff. I mean, he's resharing other people's stuff. He's posting thing about jobs. He's posting. I mean, it's just like a.
Sounds like a bot, or maybe
No, he's a real
he.
person. He's.
Yeah. Can I see him?
Yeah. Let me. Hold on. Let me bring him up.
Did he recently start there? Maybe he had another job where. What was his job before?
Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Sean. Let's look at Sean.
All right, Sean, you're famous.
He. Let's see. He's got a custom profile. He's got his email there.
What was his job before Trader Joe's?
Partner at ScanSource. He's been at TJ's for 3 years. He had a consulting business. Amherst, okay. Vendor management, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's a bot. I mean, he looks...
You know what you should do? Here, go. Oh, okay. If you want to geek out, this is one thing I do when
I do want to geek
like,
out. This is why we're here. Tell me what.
And then after this, we gotta let it go because my phone's getting blown up. So if I get a message and I'm like, this feels like it's just something smells funny. Like, and maybe I'm wrong, but there is a joined by filter in SalesNav.
Okay.
So there's like copy his name real quick,
No,
and then see that.
SalesNav. There you go.
Yeah. So you have to open search. So yeah, Sean, that guy, and then where is he at? He's in Southbury.
I think.
So go to search for leads.
Okay.
And then do his first name, last name.
His first name, last name. Where is first name, last name here?
Top.
Right. Yeah. In middle.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Okay, Sean.
You have to push enter on that one. It's kind of goofy.
All right. Enter with like on a Mac. Enter.
Yeah.
Sean. Enter. Okay. So,
And then go. Okay. So hang on. Go. So now go to his city.
Yeah, Connecticut. Connecticut, United States. Okay. Okay. 6 of them.
And then, so then if you scroll down a little bit, there is became a member.
Became a member. All right.
So if somebody just became a member
0.
recently, that is even more fishy to me.
Mm-hmm.
3 months ago. No. So he's not showing up in any of these filters. 0 results.
Unless, just a fun little way to
That
do
is
a fake profile check.
Yeah.
So wait, but there's 6 profiles coming up like this. I wonder if it's the same. No, it's not the same guy. So this is the guy. And what do we know about him here? 39 shared connections. I'm not.
He's gonna watch this. I'm gonna tag him and be like, "Hey, dude, just so you know, for fun, we were keeping on your profile."
Yeah, I just am amazed at that kind of activity, though.
Yeah.
Look at this, 752 posts. First of all, when are you leading a crew if you've got that much posting going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. Hey, break that down. Okay, 24. How many hours in a week?
Go to his recent activity.
All right. How many hours in a week? What is this guy? He's like a bot.
They all go to
activity. So
what about posts? Click posts.
Yeah, look what
lots of share.
He's just sharing other people's stuff. And here's the thing: he's got 12,000 followers, but there's like very little engagement on this stuff.
Yeah.
Sharing out this stuff, a lot of stuff that I'm not sure really.
26 minutes once a minute. That looks scheduled to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely scheduled.
It just, it's not. Why though? Why do it when you're getting 0 engagement? It's the guy in the corner of the room talking to the wall.
Yeah.
Well, in his defense, here we are talking about him.
I like the analogy.
But there's no rhyme or reason to the even nature of the content. Right? I mean, there's no, I'm not seeing a theme here. I'm not seeing.
I mean, that looks like he's using a software.
My buddy Joe.
There's no effort going into it. Yeah.
For the sake of sharing. Yeah.
And there's a guy in my network who I don't know what he's doing. I like it and I hate it. Like once in a while, it just goes through and it likes my stuff. And I know that it's like an auto like, but I'm like, there's this little glimmer inside of me that just hopes that it was real, but I know it's not.
Yeah, he just wants to get, well, at least you're paying attention to you, whatever it is. But
it was interesting to see this.
Yeah, very interesting.
I can't get the rhyme of what this is. He posts his occasional jobs. He's always sharing other people's stuff. He's always
Maybe
sharing.
there's a side gig going on where he's going to flip the switch.
For what though? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the what's the word I'm looking for? What's the theme here? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are certain
Anyway.
programs that share curated content, and if this is not really curated,
No, it's
it
just
will look like
random
this.
stuff, and it's at the volume of 752. In a week is a lot. That's 7 days a week. That's 100 a day, right? I mean, that's quite of a
how
lot.
many followers? How many followers does he have?
12,000.
Maybe his goal is followers.
Yeah.
And maybe doing that gets him followers.
I don't know why, Sean? Why 500 connections? I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy stuff. Anyway, well, very interesting. Yeah, he's got those followers, so that he must have parallel connections. You know, and he's active. He's replying to comments, so he's not totally robo. You know, he's replying to people. So you can see there, that activities. He's replying to comment, he shared, he replied. So I don't know.
Hey guys, thanks for sharing your
Yep,
thoughts.
Gotta go.
Everything was very interesting, but I have to jump off.
All right.
See you
You
next
guys
week.
have a great week. See y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.